Hi guys, remember me? I'm the OG AVGN hater. So, to those of you out there that are a fan of James Rolfe, Cinemassacre, Screenwave Media, any one of those goofs, the thumbs down button is right down there. You've hit the thumbs down button on my videos throughout the years, and oh my gosh, they've aged like a fine wine. Thank you for your contributions. That nonsense out of the way. James Rolfe has got himself a little case of plagiaritis. He has committed plagiarism. And I say he because the buck stops at him. And I know so many of you out there have been reaching out to me as seeing as like, oh, this guy's the OG hater of AVGN. Let's hear what he has to say about this. Why aren't you saying anything about this? It's been weeks since this happened. Why aren't you cashing in on James' name right away? Because isn't that what you're all about? I know if I was truly cashing in on his name and circumstance here, I would have done this weeks ago when this whole plagiarism thing first popped out. But anyone out there who really knows me knows the truth, but that's okay. Go to Cinemassacre Truth's Reddit if you want to know real truths. Oh, I'm sorry, did I throw that out there? The Cinemassacre Truth Reddit? On Reddit? The Cinemassacre Truth Reddit page? What? What is that? Everyone check it out. Let's find out what it is together. Anyway, so... and I say James is responsible for this plagiarism because the buck stops at him. Now, I understand why James is doing what he's doing with Cinemassacre and AVGN and given the reins over of basically his intellectual property to other guys to craft and produce, with James having some involvement along the way in everything, obviously. But it's mostly being done by these Screenwave goofs. And a lot of the fans hate it. A lot of the fans will accept anything James puts out, and some fans are just oblivious to anything going on. And that's fine. You're free to enjoy whatever you want out there. But it doesn't make it free from criticism of others. And right now, James is losing loyalty of a lot of fans with this plagiarism thing. And people are reaching out to me saying, what are your thoughts on this? What is your guidance in this? And my only guidance in this would be to say, don't expect anything to get better. I mean, I agree. The plagiarism thing was terrible. Shouldn't have been done. There should have been some sort of just better oversight. But that's the thing. James is a good-hearted person. I've never said he isn't a good-hearted person. He is a well-intentioned person who has made some bad decisions. Okay, that doesn't make you inherently evil because you've made some bad decisions. It's just that he's made some decisions that have hurt him on a multitude of levels. And as a longtime fan of his, not so much anymore, but someone who made content on this website and was a personality on this website that was partially inspired by him directly, you just want to see him be better. And I'm here to tell you, just don't expect things to get better. Because him, like me, is a father with 2 kids. I understand the time commitment that takes if you want to be a real father there for your kids and all that, and be a contributing member in the household. I get all that. I understand. I can't do half as many things that I could have years ago before I had kids, and I'm sure James would say the same thing. He actually has said the same thing. But with that means if you're going to hand over your legacy to something else, you got to make sure decisions are made properly, or you deserve to have your feet put to the fire when something goes haywire. And that's what's happening now with this plagiarism thing. I just think James is someone that is not necessarily being lazy about things, but just he's given up being involved. It was a passion to do things like AVGN and the content he made on YouTube and Cinemassacre. Now it's, as he said in his own words, a job. A job isn't necessarily something you want to do. He was passionate about certain videos that he wanted to make for AVGN reviews. Now he's just like, well, I got to review something else. What do people want to see me make a review on? Okay, I'll do this. I'll motivate myself to do this. You guys write the script and I'll sit in front of the camera. Like, that's the state of where he's at today. All right. That's not what was great AVGN. Great AVGN was in James's mind, in his production of his little apartment and whatever, his own uniqueness, his own style, his own flair. his own writing and assistance from Mike Matei. By the way, Mike Matei, cool little 10-second shout out you got for all the years of involvement on Cinemassacre. Like James wrote him off saying like, oh, Mike's not going to be here for James and Mike Mondays anymore because he's on Twitch. That's it. Mike's no longer to be seen nor heard of again on Cinemassacre. I don't know, a lot of people seem to go in and out, and James just writes them off and brings the new guys in. Come on aboard. How you doing, Bootsy? Where you been? Anyway, Kyle Justin, where you been too? But anyways, so my advice for you guys that are expecting things to go back to the way they were, don't. Because like I said, as a father of 2 kids and wanting to have time with my kids, I wouldn't go back to something like that where I had to invest all my time and effort into a solo project. And on top of that, and I'm not saying that James should retire AVGN. I mean, these AVGN episodes get 1 million+ views every episode. Why would you stop doing that? That don't make no sense. He's putting food on the table. He's paying the bills. He's keeping the walls up on his house. So, okay, have at it. But I understand why fans want to leave the fold now and how he handled this plagiarism thing, how he put it on an unlisted video on his Cinemassacre Clips channel. And again, it's the second biggest thing that's a passion for him was that Monster Madness review that he did every October. Almost every October, I should say. I think this is the 14th installment. He's missed like a year or 2 in the middle. But anyway, if that's his second biggest passion project, you should put the second most scrutiny on that to make sure that things like plagiarism aren't going on. And I understand some people just don't care if something's plagiarized. It's an old movie. It's someone else's old take on it. Okay, you just repeated it to me. Why should I really care? I understand people that think like that. That's fine. But I understand people that are heated with how they handled it and the fact that plagiarism took place in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. So anyways, to those of you out there that are disappointed in James, hey, I hear you. I understand you. And I was telling you this years ago that this is a guy who is well-intentioned, but he makes cataclysmically bad decisions that affect his brand negatively. And I'm not going to sit here and reiterate them because my videos are up and archived and you can go back and watch them, and I don't need to sit there and repeat them verbatim to you. You can have someone else watch them and then plagiarize them and make their own video about it. I don't care. But that's where we're at. I mean, hey, it's a different day and age, and James is out there just trying to make a buck. If anything, my criticism and harshness has dampened on James because I just want to see good content be made. Honestly, if the Screenwave Media guys prove to be valuable content contributors and they make stuff with James's vision in mind and it reflects the OG AVGN years, I ain't going to sit here in lie and say, oh, no, it's still terrible because the Screenwave guys did it and James wasn't the bulk of the process. Like, no, I'll give credit where credit is due. But it's just more often than not, I watch these videos, I'm just like, man, what happened? What happened? Well, I know what happened, but it's like, it's a shame. It's a shame because it just used to be such a good thing going, and a few bad decisions and life that, again, I'm not holding his life decisions of like something like getting married and having kids against him because, hey, go on, do you live a happy, healthy life with a happy, healthy family? I mean, I'm never going to criticize someone for having that. I'd be criticizing myself as the first person if that were a sin. But I don't know. It's just people need to just take James and the AVGN and Cinemassacre Productions for what it is now and just accept it. I understand people that are angry with the plagiarism deal, and I'm sure they're going to... I saw that there's already a number of instances that have been pulled out of even more past plagiarisms. So it's not like it just started this year. But I'm not going to reiterate all of them. You can do your own research into things and find out your own information and use your own judgment. Because again, at the end of the day, I'm just some talking head on YouTube that had a fraction of the popularity that James ever had. So I'm always going to be labeled as jealous. And that's all it's ever going to come down to in the true fans' minds. And I understand that. I understand that how you're going to see me as a jealous hater, therefore my criticism is invalid. That's just the way the ship sails here in the world. I understand that. But it don't mean I'm wrong. Take care, everyone. That is all.